Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I do not know if you remember, but the Russians claimed or called the Serbians out, saying that, guys, you kind of stab us in the back because you are selling weapons to Ukraine. No, we don't do this, we don't do that. And the Russians provided evidence that the Serbians provide weapons to Ukraine via third parties. Well, I have an article here from yesterday when the Russians reiterated that claim and said, you know what, guys, that's not how a friend behaves. And Moscow accused Belgrade of betraying friendship. That was yesterday, the 23rd. Today, on the 24th, Belgrade announced stopping every or any weapons exports. That's it. No more weapons. Now, what's that? Friendship? I think Belgrade or the Serbs definitely picked a side right now. That's the first one. And the second topic that I have here is Germany tries to gain its independence finally after 1945 occupation. And that is, supposedly, Germany is asking the United States of America to get its occupation troops out of Germany. And what's interesting is the person who demands that. There's a defense minister of Deutschland über niemals, Mr. Pistorius. Unbelievable. So, let's start with the first topic. This is from the 23rd of June 2025. Moscow accuses Belgrade of betraying friendship. Serbian companies continue to send munitions to Ukraine via third countries, according to Russian foreign intelligence services. There you have it. This is what these guys say, in which it accuses Belgrade of betraying its historic friendship with Moscow. Officially, Serbia has avoided backing Kiev in the conflict and asserted its neutrality. Despite this, Serbian defense firms have been increasing their supply of ammunition to Ukraine, according to the SVR. The agency asserts that this has been made possible through indirect export schemes designed to obscure the weapon's true destination. The SVR said that Serbian-made munitions are being exported as kits to NATO countries, where they are assembled before being transferred to Ukraine. The components are reportedly shipped primarily to the Czech Republic, boo, and Bulgaria, boo, allowing Kiev to formally receive fully built weapons from NATO soil rather than directly from Serbia. According to the Russian intelligence agency, Serbian arms producers are fully aware that their products are ultimately destined for the Ukrainian military and that their munitions, and I'm quoting, will kill Russian servicemen and civilians, end quote. And I'm quoting, it is regrettable that now these conditions of friendship and mutual assistance are being erased by the thirst for profit and cowardly multi-vectorism. Vectorism? Vector, from vector. The SVR concluded. Following the report, Serbian President Alexander Vučić announced on Monday that Belgrade has suspended the export of ammunition and that special permissions will now be required for such shipments. And I'm quoting, we have now stopped literally everything and are sending it to our army, he said. And here is the article. Serbian president on the 24th announces halt to ammo exports. The move follows accusations from Moscow that Belgrade is secretly supplying munitions to Ukraine. So here is what Vučić said. The country has now stopped literally everything and is sending it to our army. Belgrade is seeking new markets for its military production, Vučić noted, added that he would not deprive some 150,000 Serbs military plant workers and their families of their livelihoods. However, Serbia will tighten its export rules and any shipments abroad will now require special approval, he said. And I'm quoting, it will no longer be the case that permission is given by two ministers and that the goods flow smoothly. We'll see what will happen in the future in accordance with the interest of Serbia, Vučić stressed. Got the ammunition produced in Serbian defense plants primarily for heavy long-range systems is sent to NATO countries in the interest of Ukraine in the form of fully assembled kits. This allows Kiev to formally receive military products that are no longer Serbian but assembled at defense factories in the Western countries, the SVR said. What do you think? Well, you have to pick a side. It was no threat over there. It was just you're not good people. What's going on here? I think a lot of it's okay. The Brits. I just read an article. The Brits and Zelensky, which is Starmer and Zelensky, has decided to build together weapons in Ukraine. Good job, British weapons. They will be blown up by the Russians in no time. So I think it's a regrouping. What's going on over here? NATO has has its summit today on the 24th and the 25th in The Hague, in the Netherlands, and I think that's regrouping. The countries agreed to pay 5% of their GDP to the contractors, military contractors. That tells you who's in charge. The guys with the guns, click, clip. Not the manufacturers. The military industrial complex, which includes the manufacturers. That's the first one, and they're regrouping. United States of America will tighten its grip on the 32 countries or whatever NATO is made out of. I think 32. So Russia does the same thing with BRICS. I said this from whenever it was in 2022, about April, May. BRICS is going to have its own separate international global institutions, like its own insurance companies for the vessels and so on. They will have their own thing, and they will not recognize the other ones, the Al Capone's plantation, unless the other guys recognize theirs. And that's it. I said it, and that's going to happen. All right, good news, I would say, for the Serbs. Next, Germany tries to gain its independence. Yes, it's been under U.S. occupation since 1945. Protection. Well, if it's protection, you ask for the protection to leave, and the protection leaves whenever you ask, right? Or if we're friends, that means reciprocity. If you have troops in my house, I should have troops in your house, which is not the case, obviously. Russia Today. Germany asking U.S. for Europe troops withdrawal roadmap. So Europe troops. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to get smacked. Some NATO members are concerned that Berlin's request for clarity could prompt Trump to pull American forces out. No. Are you crazy? I mean, I worked so hard to get in your house with my troops. And I've been staying over there for three generations. Almost 90 years, 80 years, okay. And now you think I'm going to just leave? Why? Why would I do this? For your freedom? My interest is to be on your territory, and you pay for my troops. That's been happening anyway. So, out of the woodwork, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius unexpectedly has repeatedly asked U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to provide a quote-unquote roadmap for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Europe, the Financial Times has said, citing 3 anonymous sources briefed on the discussions. Now, first, if from Europe, it doesn't mean from Germany, it seems like. You know what I mean? Since taking office in January, U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly accused European NATO members of failing to equitably share the burden of defense spending. I made a video a minute ago where NATO countries, states agreed to 5% to pay, so they pay out or pay up. His administration has also suggested that the US could reduce its military footprint on the continent in the coming years as its geopolitical focus increasingly shifts towards the Asia-Pacific region. Right there. European leaders have been preoccupied with Washington troops withdrawal plan. So they want to withdraw. supposedly the Americans. The fact that the US has yet to provide details has contributed to the concerns, the publication reported, citing anonymous sources. Yes, they will not give you details because they don't have to. The boss doesn't have to give you details. And that's the problem. It's a, how do you call it, de facto occupation. Not de jure, de facto. And you want to, hey, I want you out, I don't want to talk to you. You see, as the Russians say, the realities in the field. The new realities. The new reality is that, yes, I'm occupying you. Live with it. What are you going to do? Attack me? Please, come on. So, according to the outlet, in recent months, Pistorius has pushed Hegseth, his counterpart, to provide a roadmap for a US pullback from Europe, entire Europe. Financial Times quoted an anonymous senior German official as explaining that, and I'm quoting, "We all have trauma from Afghanistan," referring to the botched withdrawal of the US troops there in 2021. Germany attempts, however, have reportedly come in criticism from other countries, from other members of NATO, probably Poland, supposedly wary that Berlin might unwittingly boost Trump's case for withdrawal. No, it's not going to do that. Baltic states will have NATO forever. Or maybe, I don't know, they're going to use these guys. Another source cited the publication described the somewhat schizophrenic dilemma faced by European leaders as follows: engage with the Americans like hell to keep them as close as possible, while at the same time preparing as fast as we can for them to walk away. Well, what do you think, my friends? What do you think? The Germans will not leave Europe. The Germans will not leave. Jesus Christ. Americans will not leave Europe. They will find a scheme like this. We are going to be in charge. Maybe less troops, but we are going to be in charge of all NATO troops as we are. We're going to give some others secondary authority. And you are going to finance us. And we're going to protect you. And we will not allow you to arm yourselves. We will arm you, and you're going to be continuously dependent on our arms manufacturing companies. Therefore, if you decide to go on your own, we say click and we can do whatever we want with you. And by the time you build your arms manufacturing industry, Europe has it, the Americans will not allow that. Why would you allow that? I mean, first, let's start with this one. There's no friendship. That's only alliances due to interest. It's like a pack of wolves. They get together to attack someone. I mean, it's a bit, exaggerated because the wolves are nice animals, actually. They care for their older wolves in the pack. They take care of the youngsters together, so better than us, I would say. But I'm talking about, we get together for an interest. We just rip off that enemy that the boss, the alpha wolf designated or female. And then what happens? He, the alpha, United States of America, eats first and then gives the crumbs to the rest of the pack. And the rest of the pack eats the crumbs. So why would they relinquish this? Give up. Okay, we're going to give up. Why? They worked hard and it works just fine. They will do the same thing. The Russians will do the same. The Americans will do the same thing. I'm going to fight everybody else with you guys. You're going to be in the front row and we're going to lead from behind. Thank you very much for being with me again today. That ain't going to happen. Ain't. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.